Okay, let's dive right in. We're looking at a huge number, something like 240 million computers that basically got kicked off the Windows 11 train.
Yep, the hardware requirements just cut them loose. And now they're looking for a new home. And that often comes down to Ubuntu 25.10 or Zorin OS 18.
And that's where we're focusing our deep dive today. Because for these older machines, it's all about one thing, isn't it? RAM.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Every single megabyte matters when your hardware is limited.
Yeah.
So we're really asking, which OS actually respects that?
Exactly. And on paper, you can already see a split. Ubuntu 25.10 with its slick GNOME desktop. It says you need 4 gigs of RAM.
Right.
Then you have Zorin OS 18, which is built on that super stable Ubuntu LTS core, and it says you only need 2 gigs.
But that's just on paper. The real world tells a very different story.
It really does. So what are people actually seeing after a fresh boot and nothing running? What's Ubuntu using?
Reports are consistently showing between 2.1 and sometimes almost 3 gigabytes of RAM.
3 gigabytes at idle.
At idle.
Yeah.
It's a huge upfront cost before you've even opened a single application.
That's insane. It's like, for the listener, imagine Ubuntu turns on 3 giant floodlights the second you walk in a room. Zorin, on the other hand.
Zorin is closer to 900 megs, maybe 1.1 gigs on its core edition. So, it's just one little LED bulb.
That's less than half.
Yeah.
So why? What's the fundamental difference there?
Well, it really comes down to the desktop environment. Ubuntu's default GNOME is, let's call it a resource enthusiast. It's gorgeous, lots of animations, but it loves memory.
Okay.
What Zorin does is pretty clever. They take that same GNOME foundation, but they heavily customize it. They strip out a lot of the bloat.
So they're optimizing it, but are you losing key features? Is it still the GNOME experience people want?
For 99% of users, yes. They keep the polish, but they prioritize stability and efficiency. And you really see this when you put the systems under load.
Right. Let's talk about a practical example, like, say, Firefox with a ton of tabs open.
A classic test. We see reports of Ubuntu users with, say, 60 tabs open on an 8 gig machine, and the system just starts to choke. It stutters.
And on Zorin, the exact same workload.
It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Total system usage might be around 2 gigabytes.
Wow.
I mean, it's not even in the same league. That's the difference between a machine being useful for a few more years or just becoming e-waste.
Okay, but we should probably bring up the nuance here, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Especially for people coming over from Windows.
Oh, absolutely. The Linux memory thing. It's important to know that high RAM usage in Linux isn't always bad. A lot of it is just disk caching.
Right, it's preloading stuff to make things faster.
Exactly. And that cache memory gets released the instant an application actually needs it. So big numbers can be deceptive.
That's a great point. But, and this feels like a big but,
Yeah.
it doesn't really let Ubuntu off the hook here, does it?
Not at all. Because even when you account for the cache, 2 big problems remain for Ubuntu.
Okay, what's the first one?
The baseline. Just to run its core GNOME shell, it demands a much, much higher amount of real, non-cache memory. That floor is just higher.
And the second issue?
Memory leaks. The standard GNOME shell has well-documented issues where, under sustained use, it just keeps consuming more and more RAM.
So you have to restart it to get that memory back.
You do. Whereas Zorin's implementation seems to be far more stable. Right. It doesn't have that same progressive bloat over time.
So the bottom line here is pretty clear.
I think so. Ubuntu's 4 gigabyte requirement is real. If you want a smooth experience, you genuinely need it.
But Zorin's 2 gigabyte requirement isn't just a number on a box. It actually functions smoothly and gives you all that extra headroom.
Exactly. It provides that breathing room that older hardware desperately needs.
So for you listening, this isn't just some academic debate. It's the difference between wasting money on a RAM upgrade you might not need
versus just choosing smarter, more optimized software from the get-go.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought, doesn't it?
It does. If the operating system spec sheets are lying to you this badly, or at least this misleading, it really makes you wonder, what other hidden resource costs are lurking in all the other software you rely on every single day?